I'm Debbie Godfrey. Welcome to the Positive Parenting Pep Talks podcast. So, this week we're going to talk about screen time. And I know for about the last 10 years, this is probably the number one challenge that parents come to me about. Or I guess I shouldn't say that because I still think power struggles and sibling rivalry, those are big parts of problems parents have. But when when a parent is working on, when you're working on your parenting and trying to do the best job and figure out what kind of parent you want to be, screen time is just right in our faces. It's just, uh, it is the most frustrating thing to navigate. And prior to the pandemic, I think it was a little bit easier because there were some parents that were just like, no, no screen time. And it was easy to but have that be a limit, like, kids don't get screens, period. And then the pandemic happened and school happened on screens. And those very parents that were trying to be really strict and completely limit screen time had to finally give in and allow some form of screen time. So basically, nobody is immune from this. And at least nobody that would be listening to a podcast, right? If you're on media. So I understand how common it is, how frustrating it is, and it's still important that we use our own personal values to navigate how we're going to handle screen time with our children. So whether you're on one end of the spectrum, like you wish there was zero screen time, to the end of the spectrum where it's fine with you, they can have as much as they like and watch whatever they like, to somewhere in the middle, which is where most of us fall. That's what we want to talk about this week. And I'd love for this to be an evolving conversation this week. If you want to comment on, I'll post this over on Instagram if you want to comment on it, and I can kind of tailor the rest of the talks this week to your specific questions and concerns. Today, I want to start with my basic observation, which is that we all need to see what the point of no return is for each of our kids. So, most of you will probably notice that if your child is on a screen, and this goes pretty much across the ages. Well, little kids maybe not, but as they're getting to that place where they're actually on and playing, a video game or an educational game or whatever it is, there's a point of no return. And for some kids, it might be 20 minutes, maybe it's 25, maybe it's 30. Most kids, it will happen by the time 40 minutes has gone by. And there's actually research behind this, which I'm not posting here or anything like that, but that there's a certain amount of time and then you can't get your kid off, or you try to and they just have a complete meltdown. And it's awful. It's awful because we end up in a big fight, everybody's yelling, we wanna take the game away, they don't want us to take it away, there's, bad harsh words and harsh feelings, and everybody's miserable, and we're left wondering what the heck happened to my kid, and am I doing the right thing? And it gets harder and harder to enforce the limits. The more that happens, the more that time goes over, and then they, you know, have this complete meltdown. So so for today, what I want you to do is just think about and observe, like, what is that amount of time for your child? Is it 20 minutes? Is it 30 minutes? And start thinking about how you're going to be able to set up a schedule for screen time within those limits so that if you have a child who can only be on 20 minutes and then they're a basket case to get off, then you're going to have to have that child have 20-minute or less chunks of time on screens, which means on the screen, take a break, go outside and play or whatever, and then maybe have some more screen time again if you're going to allow them to have more than 20 minutes in a day. And I'll tell you, there's one expert out there who thinks 2 20-minute periods in a week is it. I don't think that's most of us will not reasonably expect ourselves to to be able to handle that one. But that's according I mean, that's the research, and he's an expert, but, um yes. So this is what we're gonna do this week. We're gonna talk about screen time. I'll talk about setting limits, one day. We'll talk about one of the some of the reasons that I think it's so difficult for us to deal with, which is the addictive nature of it. And then whatever else, I'll open this up to you. What do you want to know more about regarding screens, and what would be helpful to you? So comment, go find my Instagram page at Positive Parenting Debbie and comment on the post I'll make about this. And let's move this conversation forward and make screen time a time of learning in our families and a time of positivity and not the fighting and the screaming. Have a great day. Happy parenting.
Look, Bumble knows you're exhausted by dating. All the must not take yourself too seriously and 6'1" since that matters. And what do I even say other than hey? Well, that's why they're introducing an all new Bumble with exciting features to make compatibility easier, starting the chat better, and dating safer. They've changed, so you don't have to. Download the new Bumble now.
Thank you so much for joining me here at the Positive Parenting Pep Talks podcast. I assume you're here because you're getting something out of these daily pep talks. And wouldn't it be great if more parents could hear more about these ideas for their children? And you can help me in a great way by liking the episodes, by sharing them on your social media, and especially by providing a review on your platform of choice. So if you could do me a huge favor and do that, it would really help get this out to many, many, many more parents. And we can all help our children feel more seen, heard, and understood, which is my life's work, is to make sure that all children feel loved and appreciated, and that we can discipline them without breaking their spirit. So I hope that you've enjoyed these podcasts and will continue to enjoy them. And I really appreciate any support you can give me here at Positive Parenting Pep Talks. Thank you so much. Have a great day and happy parenting.